Hello?
Hey David, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very good. It's very cold outside, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cold. I'm at a mall right now. But I'm in a more quiet spot now. I'm in a more private area.
Okay, so I hope we go through this quick. Okay, I was thinking when maybe we can like review this glossary of international trade terms. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Okay, so you remember airway bill? You know what it is, right?
Yes, I remember the airway bill. It's kind of like a receipt.
Yes, exactly. It's like a receipt. Um, it's the acknowledged receipt of goods. Your goods are already on the way, right? The authorized economic operator. You know what is this, right?
That's like a agent or something. Someone who can
Exactly.
help
Is
you.
what it
Okay.
is. It's an agent. And you know what is a bill of lading?
The bill of lading is it's like everything that's inside of it's like a list of everything that's inside, I think. Everything that's inside the package.
No, no, that is a packing list. Bill of
Okay.
lading is the same as the airway bill, but it's for the ocean freight, for the ocean cargo.
Okay. Got it.
Yes, it's a document issued by the courier that acts as a receipt of goods and contract of transport. It's the same as the airway bill, but it's for the ocean. What is a broker? You know, remember that one?
A broker is someone that you're going to contact who will help you do all the paperwork and like cover all the legal aspects of it to make it a little bit easier for yourself, right?
Exactly. He will help you to clear customs once the goods arrive to Canada. What is the certificate of origin? Remember that one? COO?
Yeah, the certificate of origin, it's going to be like the factory that the goods were manufactured in or wherever whatever you're importing like where it came from basically. And only some factories and some businesses are able to actually give these certificates, I think.
Yeah, the certificate of origin is basically a document that says that a product is from certain country or certain place, you know? The foreign trade department will actually issue this document. It's only like to say that something was produced in China or is from China or from US or from Canada. Okay?
Okay.
Custom duty, you know what's called?
Yes, I know customs duty. It's just the tax. Once you import something, different goods will have different like levels of tax on them, and you need to check with the product number in the registry to see what levels of duty you're going to be paying, how much tax you're going to be paying, depending on what it is you're importing.
Perfect, exactly that, and that's it. Great. Now, custom clearance. Also, you know this one, right?
Yeah, customs clearance.
Customs clearance. You have to give a detailed description of the cost, mainly, you know,
Yes,
or the cost
everything, all the
incurred.
details, all the
Yes.
charges you incurred along the way.
Okay. Now, the other one, free on board, like I was saying, FOB. Remember, we just went through the DDP Incoterm. FOB is another Incoterm. This Incoterm is an Incoterm where the seller delivers the goods onto a vessel chosen by the buyer on the buyer's assumed responsibility from that point onward. It's like, for instance, in Shanghai port, you know, you are the buyer and I'm the exporter and I have to sell to you FOB. You give me all the information of the even the ship that you want to be loading at and the day, the time, and I make sure the cargo gets to the point and loaded into the ship that will take your cargo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, they are only responsible for the goods up until they get on they get on the boat kind of deal.
The boat. Yes, exactly. On the boat here in Origin.
Right, and then it's your responsibility from that point on. Whatever happens
That,
is up is going to be in your hands.
yeah, exactly. My responsibility is you load it, and that's it. I have to pay that whatever it cost me to from the factory to the port and the maneuver to load it. Okay. The other one is freight forwarder. You know this one, right?
Freight forwarder is going to be like a third party kind of that's gonna arrange uh that's gonna do kind of the more complicated logistics for you for both the buyer and the seller and handle basically the transportation of the goods.
Right. Gross weight.
Gross weight is going to be not just the weight of the goods themselves, but also, like, for example, the shipping container is going to add a lot of, if you have like a one of the metal I'm not sure what they're called, but the big metal ones that they put like cars and stuff in,
Mm.
um those ones are going to add a lot of weight, right? So I guess you'll also need to account for that in the gross weight.
Okay, the total weight of the goods, including the packaging, right?
Okay,
And containers.
okay,
Huh?
not the metal shipping crates, just the like boxes or the plastic covering or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The packaging of the cargo, not actually the container. Like you're talking about the metal, big metal crate is the container, right?
Yes.
No, it refers, the gross weight refers to the packaging weight.
Okay, so like the boxes, or maybe it has some like foam inside or
Exactly.
something. Okay.
It's General Agreement and Tariff and Trade, GATT, is an international agreement aimed to reduce trade barriers. Have you ever heard of it?
Maybe I studied it briefly before, but I'm not that familiar with it actually.
Okay, it's not something that you hear every day, even if you are into this business, Um, okay, the harmonized system, HS code, you know it? Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah, I remember that one. It's gonna be like whatever country you're importing it to, you need to for example, like Canada, you need to find the exact HS code, and most goods, like probably maybe every good will have an HS code, and then based on that HS code, there's going to be different tariffs and different
Exactly.
taxes on it.
Yes, exactly. It's based on the goods and which kind of goods and materials the goods are made of and what is it for and so all the things in the country was produced and everything. It's like a code, right?
Yes.
Okay, import license, this is no problem, right?
Yeah, import license. You're gonna get that person, that agent, to help you with this, and so you can import things legally.
Yes, yes. Incoterms was like we were telling you FOB, CIF, DDP, all those are Incoterms. Uh, those are rules that define the responsibilities of buyers and sellers in international trade. You got this one. You're clear on this one, right?
Yes, I got that. I got it. Incoterms.
Okay. You ever heard of a letter of credit? What is an LC?
A letter of credit, just based on reading the description. Um, I guess it's some kind of credit, like some kind. Well, yeah, it's called letter of credit, but I guess you're gonna get a bank to be kind of an intermediary and provide some credit and a little bit more less
Wow.
risk. I'm not sure.
I think in my experience, I can tell you letter of credit has a little bit to do with credit.
Oh, okay.
It's a document issued by the bank, yes, and it's to guarantee payment to a seller once specific conditions are met. It's like a little contract, right? The bank,
Okay.
what the bank will do is like they will guarantee that your money is there, and they will make sure the supplier will deliver according to the agreement stated in the LC, But the bank will not give you credit for it unless you have a very big line of credit, right? But normally, what the bank do to open an LC, they require you to have frozen the amount of money that
Mm,
is the value of the LC. Put on a side, frozen. You stay in there until the moment to be released. So it's not credit because you need to put all the money there.
okay, I get it. It's just kind of like a trust thing, so that they can fully trust you and know that the money's there. Okay.
And the bank will look after you. Like for instance, the bank will also not release the money until he sees, the proof or the the points that were stated on the LC are reached. If you don't show me these documents or this proof of quality or quantity or I will not release the money. It's like that. It's not like okay, and they will pay without checking. That's why the bank will be like a third party.
Right, that makes sense. So then both people can be satisfied and not have to worry about if the other
Yes.
person
And they
has
will
the
charge
money or
both
something.
parties anyway. They will
Right.
charge, the bank will charge both anyway. What's a manifest? Have you ever heard this one?
Manifest. I think I actually know that from like it's like in pirate movies or something. There's like a manifest. It's like I think they've used that for a long time. It's like basically what everything that's on the boat, kind of like if it, in the pirate times maybe it was like they're importing like tea or wheat or something, and it's
Yes.
just gonna say everything.
Yeah, it states the description of the cargo and the packages. It's a little bit like a packing list. I don't know if you're more familiar with it. It
Packing list.
describes the cargo and the amount, basically describes the cargo.
Okay, for the whole boat.
No, no, well, maybe not the whole boat, but it's maybe only one container. You have a manifest for your cargo, your container. For instance, if I'm sending a container of avocado to Canada, right? To go through customs, I need to present a manifest of the cargo that I'm trying to cross.
Okay, I got it. I understand.
Okay. The other one, non-tariff barriers. Do you have any idea of this one?
Yeah, reading the description, non-tariff barriers. Yeah, I can assume it's like if you want to sell some like dangerous, like for example batteries or some or like medical equipment, like things that need to be held to a higher standard, maybe you're gonna have to get some additional licenses or uh pass some extra tests.
It's a
And
different restriction that has nothing to do with money, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes. And then we go back again to the packing list, something similar um, to the one that I was explaining to you, the manifest. The packing list, you have an idea of this one?
Um, I don't. I understand, but I'm not really sure how it's different from
Okay, a
manifest.
packing. Okay, a packing list is basically almost the same as a manifest, a little bit different, um, but as very similar. It's like a document detailing the content, weight, and packaging of the shipment or the container. You like how many, for instance, you are shipping or importing beds. So you have to have a packing list stating like how many beds, the size of each bed, and cubic meters and all that information.
Okay.
Okay, there is another one that's called preferential tariff. This one, I'm sure you understand it, right?
Yeah, it's just certain. Maybe the government of a certain country wants to import more of a certain good, so they'll give reduced taxes or reduced like duties, or tariffs. And
Or like USA, Mexico, and Canada. They have a TLC, right? A treaty agreement. And then because of this agreement, the countries in between Canada, US, and Mexico uh, are used or have reduced tariffs to import things due to this agreement.
right. Okay. Yes. Got it.
Okay, now shipper, you understand this one, right? Shipper.
Yes. Yes. I know shipper. I know that one for
Okay.
sure.
Okay, single window initiative. SWI platform is in Canada. It's a platform used in Canada to submit import and export information to various government agencies.
Is this like an online platform or is it like an application system or something? I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, it's nowadays it's got to be online for sure. Yeah, but it's used to submit information of like when you were applying for to import some goods from China into Canada, you have to do the process through this window.
Okay, and this is just for Canada.
Yeah, for Canada only.
Okay.
There's another one that's I think quite simple, supply chain.
Yeah, yeah. Supply chain is just gonna be like all the steps along the line from the raw good to when it gets to the final buyer, like the consumer.
Exactly. Yeah, the other one, tariff. Also, you're clear on this one. Tariff is
Yeah,
the
tariff.
tax.
Yeah.
A trade agreement. I just explained to you, or I said something about the trade agreement between Canada, U.S., and Mexico, right?
Yeah, it's
NAFTA.
related to the preferential tariffs, preferential duties.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna, if certain countries have a strategic alliance or something, they'll have a trade agreement, and yeah.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Then we have value for duty.
Value for duty is gonna be related to, like, I think it's called the HS code, like the HS code, where like they're gonna look at the HS code and they're gonna decide what level of taxation or how much
Yeah.
duties you have to pay based on the goods.
Yes. Well, I will add something to this one. Like for instance, when you send a cargo and you have a price here, you have an invoice, a commercial invoice for the value of $10 piece, of balls, plastic balls, $10 a piece. Um, but it's the price you're getting before freight. So the value for duty is including the freight and everything. Just a way to calculate or the value that the custom agents will give to your goods after they arrive to the port in Canada. So they calculate all the expenses, the freight expenses also, and they get a value and they say this is the value, and over this we're gonna pay taxes. Is
Okay.
it clear?
Yeah, that's
Or
clear.
okay, what's vendor?
A vendor is going to be someone who's like in contact with the factories or the farms or something, and they're gonna be the ones that you're gonna contact if you want to buy those products.
Okay, and waybill.
Waybill, uh, it's kind of like a. I actually forget the waybill. There's a lot of these terms are kind of similar, so I'm not sure how to best
Yeah,
describe the
almost the
waybill.
same as the airway bill, right?
It's a type of receipt, and it's gonna show how it's gonna be delivered, and it's gonna show like by air and then by van or
Exactly.
whatever.
And it says um when it's gonna be delivered and which address and all that, and who is the consignee, or right?
Yes, yes, all the details and the contact information and everything.
Exactly. The consignee information and everything. Okay. World Trade Organization, you know this one, right? It's a very WTO, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's just the biggest kind of legal body that's gonna uh,
Exactly.
create rules and maintain these rules in the global markets for
Exactly.
trade.
Exactly.
Okay.
Um, well, now we go back to start the class. Lesson 2, International Trade Basics. And now we're gonna start lesson objective. Upon completing this lesson, David, participants will understand the fundamentals of international trade, including key players, general regulations, and documentation required to import products into Canada.
Okay.
Introduction. International trade enables the movement of goods between countries, providing access to innovative and competitive products. However, importing successfully requires understanding fundamental principles and regulatory. First question, David. What do you think are the biggest challenges when importing a product into Canada?
Okay, the biggest challenge. First, I just want to say I'm not sure if you want to share your screen, but I can't see your screen right now. I'm not sure if you wanted to.
Oh, you want to see it?
If it's up to you, but because the other one you were sharing, so maybe this one could be good too. But
Oh, okay, I will share it with you because I made it with answers and everything, but I will share it with you. Okay.
okay, okay, okay. But I'll
The
answer.
idea is that you get your own answer. Okay.
Okay, I got it. I got it. Okay. Um,
Here.
so
I'm here. I'm here. Okay. Now, can you see it now?
okay, yes. Uh, maybe yeah. You could probably like scroll up before you show before I answer, so I can't see the answer. You know. Okay, yeah. So the biggest challenges importing into Canada, I think Canada probably has kind of strict rules compared to some other countries uh, in terms of importing, but probably the hardest things would be to figure out all the details of like duties and what licenses you're gonna need for your goods and I'm not sure. It could be solved if you have the agent who's going to be helping you with all this stuff. But probably for me, it would be to figure out like all the legal aspects of it, what licenses I need, what certificates I need, and then also take into account the duties and taxes I'm going to be paying when I'm first like deciding what goods I want to buy, because I'll need to calculate everything, not just how much I'm paying for the goods, but also the duties and taxes and transportation, everything.
Yes, basically you are right on the money on most of it. The only thing is that you left out was the finding a reliable supplier here in China. Uh, I
Right.
think you covered all the others that I had thought also. But yes, you're right. Uh, if you don't, if you get into some delays and you have to pay, classify the goods properly, you end up paying higher tariffs and duties, and you are not prepared with the right documents for the to cover the Canadian regulations, then you're gonna probably have problems there once the goods arrive to Canada, right? But like you said, a broker or a custom agent will help you to fix that in advance before the cargo arrive there. You have to just be looking after the project that you are developing, right?
Yeah, and then that makes sense. Like I didn't even think about that before, that I would also have to account for like maybe there's some issues, maybe there's some delays or some like big storm in the ocean or in the sea or something, that I need to keep that in mind. I can't just like have everything like be last minute, like, super
Yes.
time sensitive. I need to also think about maybe there'll be some extra charges, maybe there'll be delays, maybe, so I need to think about that too. Okay.
Yeah, and prepare all the documents because remember, once the cargo arrives there, the time is limited. You will not have too long or a lot of time used to clear customs or to start gathering documents and all that. You need to have everything prepared and ready. And for as soon as the cargo gets to the port, you clear customs right away and do not make any demurrages or you have to or pay any warehousing or any delays or anything. Okay.
Hmm. Okay.
Well, I was checking here and I saw some facts like Canada's total merchandise imports exceeded 700 million Canadian dollars in 2023, right? With China, the United States, and Mexico. Uh, it tops its top trading partners. That was a lot of money, right? Canada imports a lot of things from Mexico, from US, and from China also.
Yeah, I mean, uh,
Seven
there's
hundred
definitely,
billion.
yeah, there's tons of money to be made, and a lot of those are probably, most of it's from, I'm gonna guess most of it's from China. I don't know the percentage, but just guessing, I'm gonna say maybe it's like, I would say it's probably over 50% from China.
From China.
That's
Yeah.
my guess, because so many disposable goods, so many like electronics and stuff. Most of that stuff is probably not coming from the U.S. or Mexico.
Yeah,
Uh,
right. That's right.
yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Totally right. The key players in international trade. See, there are like four key players or four: exporter, importer, um, customs agent, and shipping company or the forwarder. Basically, those are the key players in international trade. With all these, you basically, if you manage to deal with these four players, you're gonna be um, on the good. You're gonna be fine, right? For instance, the exporter is the manufacturer or the supplier of goods or any product, right? And he sells the goods to you or to the importer, right? Has to give you a commercial invoice, a packing list, and an export declaration. That export declaration has got to be done here. Normally, the exporter will do it by himself when he is um, dispatching here in customs to export. Then is the importer, which is you, right?
Yes.
And what you do is you purchase, you buy. You're basically, well, you have to do is find the right supplier or exporter, or the company will sell to you. Then you have to make sure that you research the goods that you will import in Canada, you know, and make sure that you do everything according to the requirements from the Canadian Border Services Agency, CBSA for the. Then
Mhm.
another player is the customs broker. This customs broker helps you to make everything easier. He's a professional in this area. Um, he knows everything that has to be presented to the to um, to the Canadian government, and he has the import permits and licenses to import things. And he will help you to prepare and submit all the to Canadian Customs coding form. The B3 is, I think, is legally called. Then the last player is the international carrier, which is the transport or the company that will transport the things. It could be by air, by rail, or by truck, or by sea. If it is now, we are talking about China. Well, it'll be one first inland from the factory to the port in the origin port, and then by sea from the port, we can say in Shanghai to Canada, and then from the Canadian port, after it clears customs, to the warehouse of the buyer, right?
Right. So I just want to ask a question, like, um, what situations would you choose like air, and what situations would you choose sea, rail, and truck? What would be the
Okay.
situations you'd go with each?
Well, sometimes it depends on the value, right? And the volume also. If you're sending something that is like a small parcel, and you need the cargo right away, um, within 7 days or 10 days in Canada, then you send it by air. But the cost benefit will change, because the freight by air will be mm, much more expensive than the sea freight. But the sea freight will last to Canada maybe 1 month, on the
Wow.
sea before it arrives to the port for clearing customs. So, but it will cost. For instance, I will make an example. You will send toys, one pallet, very small pallet. It weighs 80 kilograms. If you send it by air, 80 kilograms, every kilogram will cost you $50.
Wow.
No, so 80 times 50, how much?
Like, is that 4,000?
Yeah, 4,000. And then if you send it by sea, it'll be 4,000, but it'll be there in 10 days max, right?
Right, right. So it's
You
but
send it by
twice as
sea, the
yeah.
same pallet is 80 kilograms, will cost you $100,
Okay, so it's
but it
40
will
times
last
as expensive.
30 days, and all the process. And then you have to, well, you will send it as a consolidated cargo, and it will not be only 100, because you have to pay some other extra fees. You have to pay the broker that will help you clear customs in Canada. You will have to pay the consolidation process. You consolidate here, and you deconsolidate in Canada, and you have to pay both. But the cargo itself will be 100, and maybe another 100 for the consolidation and this consolidation process, and for the broker some other. But still much cheaper. That is one. So people send cargo by air when they really need the cargo right away, and the cost um, benefit is not affected.
Okay.
You got it? You understand? Sometimes
Yeah,
I don't want to
understand.
I don't want to lose you. I don't know if I'm talking, but you are not clear on what I'm saying.
No, I understand. I understand. It's just a lot to digest at one time. But I'm here. I'm listening, and I'm understanding most of it. It's just a lot.
Yes, it's a little bit. Okay. Then the international carrier, airway bill. There is another example that I have here that I researched before. Is a Canadian electronic importer hires a custom broker to clear shipments efficiently and avoid compliance issues with CBSA. It's a Canadian what?
I think it's Canadian Border Security Agency, maybe.
Exactly. Yes, Canadian Border Security Agency. Here I have another question for you to share with me. Your idea is why is a custom broker important for Canadian imports?
Okay, so I think it's important because it will cost some extra money, and maybe you could try to do it yourself and do all this research by yourself, or figure out this process by yourself. But ultimately, if you get the broker, maybe if you run into problems, that broker will have some kind of like agreement with you where if there are problems, they'll like reimburse you, or they'll um, you won't have to pay them as much or something like that. And also, it will make everything much easier for yourself, and you're much less likely to encounter problems. So you might have to pay a little bit more than by trying to figure it out by yourself, but it's really such a complicated process to do it by yourself that the cost is worth it, and you'll probably end up saving money because you're much less likely to run into problems if you go with the broker, I think.
Yes, you're totally right. Exactly, is that way, and it's better actually always to get somebody that have the experience, and he will um, he will help you to clear customs or to do all the process better and easier, right? Okay, now we go to the next one. Is like the documents that we need. Normally, we need these documents all the time, and unless there is a specific requirement, or the product has a specific regulation or restriction in Canada that we will ask you for another certification or something. But normally, these are the three documents that are requested by uh, to clear customs, right? First, the commercial invoice. The supplier will open that one to you, and then the commercial invoice will have all the information of the all of the supplier, everything, all his contact information and all the information. Also, will have descriptions of the goods and the HS code, the value and the Incoterms. These goods are being sold to you. If they are like DDP, FOB, CIF, it is important because based on these Incoterms, also the custom agents will calculate remember the custom value that will be given to that to the products, right? Then it's
Right.
another one that is called the packing list. The packing list is well, we already went through it before in the previous document. It provides details on quantity, weight, dimensions, and packing or packaging of the shipment. Everything that you packed in detail, like how many CVMs or the size of every container of every package and how many packages are there,
Yeah, just like
Then
a
there's
physical description.
exactly, including weight and size. The bill of lading also, or airway bill. This is we already went through this. It's a certified. It's like a receipt, with information of the shipper and the consignee, and uh, it's issued by the shipping company. Then we have the import permit certificates. Not not all the not all the goods require the same certificates or the same information, the same permits. Certain products require additional permits and certifications, like in Canada, like Health Canada permits for food, pharmaceutical, and cosmetics. Canadian Food Inspection Agency, CFIA. Are you familiar with this permits?
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with Health Canada permits. I'm definitely familiar with that, and that makes sense. Like pharmaceuticals and food and everything needs to be at a really high standard. Canadian food inspections,
But I mean, like for
CQC.
electronics, CU it's like it's European, right? CE is from Europe, right? Well, it could be CSA is from Canada, right? But also Canada will accept the CE certification, right?
Okay, okay. Right, because they have the same standards. They have the same standards as Canada, so they'll accept both of them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you say, well, the factory that I'm buying these lighting in or these lights do not have the CSA or the UL, but they have the CE because the main market they sell right now is Europe, right? And the Canadian customs will accept it.
Right, that makes sense. It's like if you have a driver's license in Canada, then you can come to China and you can convert it into a China driver's license
And you
most of the
really?
time. Oh, I think if you have to do a test, like a short test, but
Oh,
most
okay.
of the licenses like you don't have to go through the whole process because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
I
good.
know.
They know that Canada has high standards. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. When I got here, I had the American license, and I used this on the computer. One like answering test, like, and it was options. You have A, B, and C. You choose one, and I passed. But they gave you only three good answers. I mean, if you get three wrong, they will let you. They will fail you. They won't let you pass. You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Other example that I have here is the Canadian cosmetics importer must obtain a Health Canada products license before importing skincare products into Canada. Means like, what do you understand of this one? This example?
Oh, that makes sense, I guess, because it's gonna be something that you're gonna like your body. It's gonna certain like skin products. They're gonna be going into your skin. So, I guess if you have some like chemicals or something, I guess most makeup is made of chemicals and stuff. So maybe if they're using some really kind of dangerous chemicals, uh, it's really important that the government has high standards
Okay,
for.
the license will
for
be in Canada, or it should be from the supplier in China.
um, I think you need to have it in Canada. You need to have it in Canada. So maybe you'll need
How
to
you
get
get
like
it? Do you have any idea how can you get it?
maybe you can import those goods first, like, and not for sale, but just a special type of import for testing or something, and
Mhm.
then you or maybe you can do it in Europe, and then you or somewhere like that, and then you can get the certificate, and then you're able to import it for sale.
Oh, okay. Let me explain this to you. And you are very close. Yeah, yeah. You're before you import it for sales, you have to do the process to get the certification. For this, you go to the Health Canada Products department, or go to the government where you apply for this license, and then they will you apply, fill up all the information. What is the product produced? Which factory is making this for you? And they will they will also require a sample. Then you will get the sample from your supplier, the company that will be selling these items for you into Canada, and then you'll give it to the government that will issue that certificate for them to do the testing. It will go through different tests to see if it passes or not the certification for the Health Canada products license.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, actually, you will have to actually give them uh, these samples to them before they give you the license. But it's got to be backed up with the information of the supplier. I mean, you are basically registering the factory or the supplier that is producing this item for you in China, with the Canadian government, for them to have that in the record and to make some tests, and then give or not give you the license. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm clear, but I hope I am.
It is. It's definitely clear. It's definitely clear. Yes.
Now, the questions and answer. What happens if an importer lacks of a proper import permit? What do you think?
Probably you're gonna face some legal troubles. Maybe you'll get even like a ticket or some kind of fees that you have to pay, and probably the goods will not be accepted. And then you're also gonna have to pay, and then they'll either maybe destroy them or you'll have to pay to send them back. But it's just gonna be probably just a lot of legal issues at that point.
Yeah, if you don't have for instance, they will not let you in. They will not let you get your products into Canada. They will not let them pass. Then that will cause maybe some warehousing, and delays and demorages, and you will have to pay extra money until you get these permits or licenses that are being required by the government. But if you still cannot get them, they will maybe you destroy them, like you said, destroy them or send them back, on your own cost, the importer cost. I mean, you will have to pay for that, and it's got to be sent back to China, and you as the importer have to pay the way back.
Yeah, it's really
No,
not worth it at all. You're just gonna end up losing so much.
exactly. Some goods or some people just rather let them. Okay, you destroy it. I don't want it no more. It's too expensive for me to send it back, and what I pay for it, and it's not worth it. So some people just let them get lost. Okay, now we have a Canada Border Service Agency. This is some of the basic regulations that and standards used in Canada. All imports must comply with customs, tariffs, valuation rules, and duties and taxes. What do you understand of this?
Um, you're just gonna have to like get all the proper licenses. You're gonna have to know how much tariffs and taxes you're gonna be paying, and then you need to have the HS code as well, already prepared, and just follow all the steps that we kind of talked about in the last class to do it. Uh, to do it according to the rules, basically.
Yes. Well, the other one is goods and services tax, GST. It's like in customs apply based on the product's country of origin, regulated and restricted goods. What do you understand about this one?
Yeah, like so different countries are going to have different amounts of tax, and different goods are going to have different amounts of tax. Like Canada has really high tax on electronic vehicles from China, but maybe it's not as high for electronic vehicles from the United States. And then regulated and restricted goods is going to be like we talked about earlier, like some things are regulated, like perhaps like foods and makeup and stuff like that, and then some things will be like completely restricted, like just illegal products that are not allowed
Yes.
whatsoever in Canada.
Yes. Yes, you're right. Right. The next one is some products such as weapons, food, and chemicals require additional screening, labeling, and safety standards. What in your words, what do you think about this?
What comes to mind is like sometimes like boxes will have like the must not turn upside down, or like fragile, or like sometimes they'll have like toxic chemicals inside, or explosive or flammable on the box. So
Mm,
that's really important.
yes, yes, yes. That's totally right. And labeling is very important. The last one is certain products must meet Canadian Standard Association (CSA) or Consumer Product Safety Act (CCPSA) requirements. Which kind of products do you think require this?
Um, I guess like foods, um, foods, like
Weapons. Yeah.
pharmaceuticals, yeah, weapons, medicine, uh, anything that's gonna be like going into your body, like ingesting like food, skincare, even like shampoo or something, and then medicine, stuff like that probably, and also maybe like safety equipment or like if it's gonna be like like even simple things like concrete or something is like really important to be up to regulation. Because like if they order a ton of concrete and start building a building and then they realize it's not good quality, like that's gonna be a huge problem.
Yes. Yes, that is right. An example, an importer of LED lighting must ensure the products are CSA certified to comply with the Canada's electrical safety regulations. Like you said, a lot to do with the labels and the quality of the products, right? Now the question is, what role do HS code play Canadian imports?
HS codes are super important. Sorry, I'm not sure if you can hear the background here. I hope you can't hear the background. There's some kind of loud stuff here, but um, the HS codes is basically going to be it's like a huge list of a huge list of codes that's gonna say everything like the materials, where it's from, everything like that, and then it's really important to obtain that because then once you import it, the customs are going to charge taxes and duties based on that code.
Yes, yes, exactly. And based on the HS code, you will have to pay the certain amount of taxes or duties on the item you are importing, right? The next question is, how can an importer reduce customs duties in Canada? I will move. You maybe you already see it, but I want to cover this one. I want you to come up with your own answer without seeing my answer.
Okay. How could an importer reduce customs duties in Canada?
Mm,
Um, Perhaps they could. I did read a little bit of it, so I'll just say perhaps they could just not import from the countries where they're gonna have like the highest tariffs.
yeah,
Like don't import. It's just not worth it probably to import electronic vehicles from China with such high tariffs. So maybe they should
exactly.
just look for other markets or look for places where it has low tariffs from that country or for those goods.
Yes, that is basically the only way. Or the other one could be like having or doing a very good job on classifying that item or the product that you want to import. Of course, in the vehicles, the electric vehicles, it's impossible because it's already established. You cannot put it in another HS code that is not the one that is, with high tariffs, right? But in other items, most of the items that you are importing, you can find the right HS code. That's all you can do. Either do this from countries where you have a preferential tariff or tax, import tax, preferential import tax, or classify your products to uh, the right HS code that will pay not maybe not less, but the right amount of money. Because if you classify them wrong, you can also pay more. Not only the right amount, but maybe you can classify them wrong and end up paying a little bit more, you know?
Right, and also one I just thought of is maybe you could like for example like let's say there's like really high tariffs on importing like for example you sell avocados so perhaps like there's a really high tariff for importing like processed food like for example guacamole like full it very high tariffs on importing guacamole but there's low tariffs on importing fresh produce so then
Mm,
you could instead of just directly importing guacamole you could import the avocados themselves and then have them like processed within Canada, and then you'd be paying way lower tariffs, and it's worth it to do the processing there because it's when you import it, it's classified as a like fresh produce or raw good, and then versus being
exactly.
a finished. Okay, yeah,
Exactly. Those are the loops. Those are the import loops that you will find, when you are importing, when you are trying to classify an item, what is better? Well, what is better for me? No, I will import avocados or guacamole, which one is more expensive and which one I can sell better or which one can I sell better, right?
Yeah, probably a lot of stuff. Maybe even like the LED strips. It's like it has really high tariffs and licenses for the LED strips, but maybe not very high tariffs for just like the actual wiring. So then you import the wiring and the bulbs separately, and they have lower
Ex-
requirements, and then have them assembled in Canada. That could be one.
Exactly, exactly. That is totally right. Yes, you got it. It's like that. Well, in conclusion, importing involves key players, essential documents, regulatory compliances, and understanding Canada's import rules prevents delays and additional costs. The closing question will be, my friend, what key takeaway from this lesson will help you the most when importing into Canada?
Uh Really, I learned mostly about um classifying goods. Like classifying goods is really interesting, I think, to me, because there's probably always new ways. Maybe they change like the tariff. I think they change the tariffs frequently. Maybe not all the time on all the goods, but maybe every year they change like tariffs on certain goods or whatever. And there's probably a lot of opportunities with that. And also, it's important. It's really important to have a agent or a broker with you to help you with the whole process. And also, you need to account for any things that can go wrong in the process. Like you can't just price everything and calculate everything as if everything's going to go perfectly, every time you import something or export something. Like it's possible that maybe there will be some problems or some delays or some miscalculations. So you should always keep that in mind when you're calculating your costs and you're building your business plan.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. You got it mostly clear. You're good. You got it clear. Then, um, I was gonna ask you, David. What's the product that you have chosen for to do all this research for the import or to import something into Canada? Remember, we were talking about choosing one item, one product to do all the research about that one. You know.
So I'm not sure. Maybe we said it's not. I think maybe you said it's not a good idea to do this one, but I was thinking the battery packs, like the
Well, we can do
batteries.
that one because it's not a it's a virtual it's only for the research. We can do the research, we can see how good it is, how will it be. It doesn't mean that you will actually do import this one. We will see if it is profitable or not, you know, or is feasible to do it or not, right? So we can still do that all the research based on the batteries, right?
Yeah, on those battery stations that they put in all the businesses. Okay.
Let's say you have chosen that batteries. What things you should research? Things or kind of certifications do you think you should start searching for, or what information should you search about the batteries that you want to import into Canada?
Okay, so I'm definitely gonna need to research probably the weight of them. The weight of
Okay.
them. Of course, I'll have to research how much they cost and at what quantities I'll be paying. Like, if obviously the cost for like 10 will be much different from the cost if I buy like 1,000 of them. So I'll
Mhm.
need to find that. Maybe I would need to find if they provide samples, and then of course I'll need to figure out the Canadian like licenses. I think there's like the Canadian's Electronics Safety Act or something we talked about.
Yes.
So it will be under that. It will be under the Canadian electronics thing. So um, I'll need to find out if the ones made here are compliant with those rules. I'm sure some of them are. Maybe not all of them are, but
But
definitely
I'm sure you need
some.
to check. You need to check very, very good, like on the all the certifications and regulations for the electronic portable batteries in Canada. That is the most important part that you have to, or you should be searching right now. All the requirements, all the things required by the government in Canada to import this kind of product. That is the to start. You know which certifications, which licenses, um, all the mm, the requirements that you might need to import batteries into Canada. Okay.
Okay, that will be my first step. Okay.
Yes, and then well, next lesson we will talk about finding reliable suppliers to minimize risk here in China. And David, thank you very much for being here with me, talking about this seminar, this project that we are doing. It was very nice having you and talking to you. So I'll talk to you later. I'll see you later here in Shanghai.
All right. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. Yes, I will see you in a few days. And have a good rest of your night. Bye bye.